Have you ever really stopped to think about what it means to own something? It sounds simple, right? Well, the real answer is a lot weirder than you'd expect. And it all goes back to this incredible story about a chimney sweep, a shady goldsmith, and one little jewel that literally changed the law forever. So let's get into it.
Okay, just imagine for a second. You're walking down the street, minding your own business, you glance down and bam, a diamond ring, just sitting there. You pick it up, so is it yours now? I mean, who actually has the right to it? This isn't just some philosophical question. It's a legal puzzle that people have been dealing with for centuries.
To figure this out, we actually have to hop in a time machine and go back almost 300 years. There was this one single moment, one discovery, that set the stage for how we handle this stuff even today.
So, the scene is London, 1722. Try to picture it. The streets are bustling, probably pretty grimy, horse-drawn carriages everywhere. It's a totally different world for sure, but a place where one tiny forgotten object was about to make some serious history.
And our story revolves around this young kid, a chimney sweeps boy, working a really tough, dangerous job. While he's up there cleaning out a chimney, he finds a jewel. He has no idea what it's worth or if it's even real, but he knows he's found something.
So what starts as an innocent discovery quickly spirals into a serious conflict. It's the word of a poor kid against a respected craftsman. And this simple, honest act is about to put him on a collision course with a guy who really should have known better.
You know, being a kid, he does the most logical thing you can think of. He takes it to an expert to see what he's got. He walks into a goldsmith shop, probably pretty excited, just wanting to learn about his amazing find. He's being totally trusting here.
But this is where it all goes wrong. Instead of getting an honest appraisal, he gets totally ripped off. The goldsmith's apprentice sneakily pries the valuable stones out of the setting, hands the empty piece back to the boy, and offers him next to nothing for it, claiming the stones were just worthless bits of glass.
The boy isn't having it. He refuses the tiny payment and demands the jewel back with the stones. But the goldsmith says no. So here's the core of the argument, right? The boy is saying, hey, I found it, it's mine to keep. But the goldsmith's defense is, well, you're not the original owner, so you don't have any right to it anyway. So who do you think is right?
You might think a little dispute like this would just fizzle out, but no, it ends up in court. And the decision that the judge makes is going to echo for hundreds of years.
The case gets its official name, Armory versus Delamere. And this is not just some dusty old court file. It is a landmark case that law students still pick apart today to understand the fundamental idea of property.
And here it is, the verdict that changed everything. The judge says that the finder of a jewel has the right to keep it against everyone else in the world, except, of course, for the original rightful owner. The goldsmith, he wasn't the finder, and he wasn't the true owner, so he had zero right to it. None. I mean, this was a huge deal. The court basically said that the simple act of finding and holding on to something, just possessing it, actually gives you legal rights, a type of ownership. The chimney sweep boy won.
So what's the big legal idea that's really propping up this whole ruling? Well, it's a really powerful concept that basically organizes how we think about who owns what.
It's called relativity of title. And this idea kind of flips the whole concept of ownership on its head. It's not an all-or-nothing thing. It's better to think of it like a ladder. Your right to something is always relative to somebody else's right to that same thing.
So this creates a sort of hierarchy, a ladder of rights. At the very top, with the strongest claim possible, is the true owner, whoever actually lost the jewel in the first place. Right below them on the ladder is the finder, our chimney sweep. His claim is stronger than anyone else's, except for that one person above him. And way down at the bottom, that's the goldsmith, who came into possession later. His claim is the weakest of them all.
Okay, so a kid won a court case 300 years ago. That's a great story, but why should you care about it today? Well, it's because this whole ladder of ownership idea affects you pretty much every day.
Remember that question we started with? What happens when you find a ring on the sidewalk? The answer comes straight from this chimney sweep story. This old case is literally the bedrock of our modern laws about found property.
So let's just boil it down to what this means for you. If you find something, the law says you now have a real, legal right to it. That right is only second best to the true owner, wherever they might be. And if someone else comes along and tries to take it from you, your claim is better than theirs. The big takeaway here is that ownership isn't always about having a perfect, unbeatable claim. It's just about having a better claim than the other person in the room.
And that kind of leaves us with this one last, pretty deep question to chew on. If ownership is just this ladder of better claims, and maybe nobody except the original owner has an absolute right, then what does it really, truly mean to own anything at all? Turns out the old saying, finders keepers, is way more complicated than we ever thought.